What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rome back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So there's been a lot of people reaching out to me about this situation with Fresh from Fresh and Fit, as far as him getting his girl pregnant. You know, some people are saying it's a scam by her. Some people are saying, nah, it's the real thing. This is the real deal. So I went through a few people that have been covering this, and it seems, based on what I saw, MTR seems have been doing the best job covering this, especially from a non-biased place, because obviously people like Abba and Preach, of course, you know they're going to hop on the opportunity because of their beef and issues with Fresh and Fit. And I wasn't going to waste my time reacting to them because, for one, I don't like Abba and Preach because they come off not so genuine, especially when it comes to this beef with Fresh and Fit. And I'm just going to say that because I get questioned on that a lot, as if like I'm supposed to like Abba and Preach, or as if like I'm supposed to like everybody that everybody else likes, which kind of pisses me off because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of thinking for yourself. But I don't know. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this before I talk too much. All right, let's keep it moving.
The Fresh and Fit baby mama drama situation has gotten so out of hand, so damn crazy, and it's almost like you're legitimately watching a telenovela multiplied with The Maury Show, with a little bit of sprinkled on top of on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But I'm gonna have to say that I completely underestimated the impact that Fresh Prince CEO's actions have had on the Fresh and Fit brand. So much so is that they've recently created their second video combating the allegations against them. And my plan was not to continue covering the situation, to get back to the content as per usual, but there's so much that has happened over the past couple of days, and because of that, there's so many lessons that we all can learn. So let's get active. So since the allegations after the text message and the audio recording went viral, Fresh and Fit had a stream talking about the situation. And to summarize it, in my opinion, I thought that the stream was a complete clusterfuck. Namely, that they had a divorce lawyer come up and try to defend Fresh or shift the narrative. Now, that's not necessarily what I had an issue with, but the divorce lawyer was telling Fresh to shut up and to be quiet, which I'm sure he had that conversation with Fresh prior to hopping on the call, and then Fresh just willfully admits this little gem right here.
But I will say this. I personally should not have nutted within a 304 like this.
Fresh!
Hey, now stop right there. That was your first mistake. Cool for taking accountability for it. But I think we can all agree that you look like a hypocrite. I think this is one of the main reasons why you in particular, I won't say Myron, but Myron gonna catch some smoke too. And keep in mind, bro, y'all know how much I react to Fresh and Fit and the respect that I have for them. And before anybody say, bro, I don't know why you love them clowns and da-da-da-da-da. It's the same thing when I no longer follow Donovan Sharp. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Take what you can learn from them and apply it to your life, and everything else that doesn't apply, you let it fly. Okay? So there's no need to sit over here and I don't know why you like them. I don't want to see that shit. Anyway, but what I found really interesting about this situation is how much Myron went to bat for Fresh in this situation, especially when Myron goes so, because I don't know if y'all remember, recently he just had regular average Joe men on there and he was going super hard on them. But when this situation happens, I want y'all to pay attention to how much fluff and how much he defends Fresh in this situation and doesn't hold him accountable at all. Let's keep it moving.
Fresh, really? How the fuck you have your lawyer that is telling you to shut up, and here you go over here just completely self-snitching on yourself? Because to be honest, up until this point, I was legitimately thinking to myself, what if this chick had just completely made up this whole thing? Because in my mind, I'm just like, Fresh is smart enough not to go raw daddy in an alleged 304 the amount of times of what she claimed that he did. But right there, he's telling you, the viewer, and everybody that follows and listens to their brand, that do as I say, not as I preach, to think that a man that has a 1,000 body count is going raw into what looks like to me, by looking at her public image, her cosmetic transformations, and her Instagram profile, to be a 304 is completely absurd to me. He's got to have much more experience than that. By the way, watching the interaction of that divorce lawyer reminded me how sinister yet profitable the business of divorce actually is. See, men like him are trained at spinning narratives. So imagine if that lawyer was being paid to defend a woman that wants to exact revenge upon you in the time that it took you to gain all of your assets or the children that you have fathered within that marriage. You could legitimately be an awesome, great guy that goes to homeless shelters to feed children every day. But if they put you in front of that judge and you have a divorce lawyer that's unscrupulous in nature, they're gonna spin you to being a worthless bastard that's never at home with his wife to care for her every needs while you're out wasting your life away in other people's homes. But I digress. But in ridiculous fashion, on that stream, Fresh just willingly participated that he doesn't practice what he preaches, implicating him in being a liar grifter that acts one way publicly, but privately, he can't even spell condom. And also, they mentioned me in the stream.
All right? Because a lot of you fucking haters, a lot of these...
I think most men had their skepticism when they first heard about this, but the problem is that as she started revealing more evidence and more receipts, it didn't look good. It didn't look good whatsoever, especially when I'll say Fresh, even though Myron seems to want to speak for him more than he does himself. It seems like y'all made yourselves look guilty by not really like defending yourselves or saying much. But knowing them, they probably took the time to gather their receipts and their evidence trying to prove his innocence. But at the end of the day, brother, regardless, he already admitted the shooting up the club and going in raw. So how innocent is he really? Now, for all we know, she could be lying about being pregnant, trying to run up a bag and get it like all these other 304s that you see that deal with high value men. But unless 3 to 6 months go by and we still don't see a baby bump, gotta kind of take her, or she can prove that she is pregnant with a pregnancy test or something. I'm like, we kind of gotta take her word for it at this point, because the brother already admitted to shooting up the club. Let's keep it moving.
Anyway.
First off, kudos for the shout out, guys. But to be honest with you, I was surprised that I was lumped into the same bucket to who they have currently are in active war with, and it being Abba and Preach. Because my position in the 2 videos that I uploaded previous to this is exactly what Myron's position is, and the position of the majority of the audience that follows them. At the time, I thought, because of this chick's actions, she appears to be a perpetrator. She appears to be a predator. This woman appears to be a lying sack of shit 304, but you, Fresh, a complete fucking idiot for going raw daddy in a lying sack of shit 304. But apparently, holding you accountable is what you have a problem with. See, my brand is a bit different than your brand, and I'm not going to sit here and judge another man in the way that he chooses to handle a situation at the point that he needs to be held accountable. But I prioritize in my life being accountable, telling the truth, and living my life according to what I tell my audience, what I tell the MT Army, because I understand the gravity of the situation that we are all in as content creators. I understand the importance to my fans that I live my life in how I preach because of the position of influence that we are all in. Because I know that my lies will not only damage my own brand, but also the entire brand of men-centered content.
And you guys, what he just said is very important because this is one of the main reasons why I'm so transparent with you guys. Because if y'all remember, there's a YouTuber by the name of Travel with Paul or whatever dude name is. And he tried to quote unquote expose me for being with a freelancer. But he doesn't follow my channel very well, because if he followed my channel very well, he would know that I've told my audience on more than one occasion that I dabble in that as well as date since I've been overseas. And not only that, I don't want to say I recommend it, but I guess you could say in a way I would recommend it. But part of the reason why I came up with that was because I picked that up from Kevin Samuels, watching Kevin Samuels for so long. Because when you're a man on your purpose and you're, focused on getting the bag and bettering yourself, you're not gonna have a lot of time to date. And as men, you want to get your rocks off. So what I tell on my channel, if you can afford to do both, do both. Ain't no shade gonna come this way. None whatsoever. I'm not judging. So Travel with Paul, yeah, he thought he had one, but he didn't. And I ain't heard shit from him since I addressed that shit. Because I had receipts. I went all the way back to the very live show where I admitted to that and then doubled down on it. So yeah, I haven't heard anything bad from him since. Let's keep it moving.
So anyway, their content arch nemesis, Abba and Preach. And I actually think it's more specifically Abba, whose level of pettiness at this point dips down into the level of a 50 Cent. I mean, if there's a petty award in 2024 that should be given, Abba should be at the top of the goddamn list. Dropped a new video further painting Walter as a Pookie who lied to get those guts. And at the point, then a baby came into the mix, then he changed his tune and ran for the hills.
When I first test positive, and I was just kind of shocked because I just want to see where his head's at. And then I try to talk to him. I called him. I text him. He acts like nothing happened. Like, not my business. Like, woman, not my business. Deal with it. We're not together. Like, don't call me. Don't text me. Things like that. That was his behavior. I have a 37 minutes conversation between me and him. What if you think we don't keep the baby because we're not together anymore? Things happen, and I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna take you to the hospital. That would be fine. I would be okay. But he did completely the other way around. That just made me so sad. That just made me so sad. How can you you said you love me like literally 2 weeks ago and wanted to plan a future with me, and now you're acting like this with me.
Now, see, this is the part where I get pissed off at Myron, because it's like, bro, if your boy was over here feeding her lies instead of telling her the truth like y'all preach on y'all goddamn channel, now I got a problem with y'all. See, I can't sit over here and get mad at her when she's over here saying, he told me this, he told me that, he told me this, he told me that. You gonna feed her a dream only to turn around and take the rug from underneath her once she finds out she's pregnant with your child. Now you want to act brand new? Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I can't. Nope. I'm looking at you, Fresh. Yep. And I'm side-eyeing Myron too, because If this was anybody else who would have did that shit, Myron would have held him accountable instead of defending him to a fault. And I get it, he's loyal to a fault. But bro, what y'all preach on y'all channel, it doesn't align with how y'all handling this situation. Because if this was any other average Joe on your channel in this situation, you would be holding them accountable far more than the woman, man. But because it's your boy, you're like, oh no, I'm side with him, even though he said all these lies to her. Let's keep it moving.
So at this point in the telenovela, you probably have two different schools of thought. Either that this woman really did love Walter, had genuine feelings for him, they communicated about having a baby, they sent loving text messages to each other, were buying each other gifts, he introduced her to his parents in Barbados, and she was really genuine about her feelings towards her. Or you have a scamming 304 who is not pregnant whatsoever, and this is simply a clout demon looking for a come up. But no matter what, out of either of those two scenarios or situations from this lovely young woman, you still have Walter that was weeks enough to spray baby batter in a young woman with whom he never wanted to have a baby with. Then to cap off the novella, Fresh and Fit came back swinging with the Uno reverse card, dropping a stream to assassinate the character of Miss Daisy Chan. Girl with pregnancy allegations for Fresh turns out to be an alleged escort predator with a fake name. All right, so I can't play this one due to YouTube guidelines, but essentially it's a back of a young woman. You do not see her face, but it's a back of a young woman that is in an interaction with a man, and it sounds as if there was a solicitation to give her insides away for money. Now, what I will say that is interesting about this, outside of her being 304 that I recently said in my previous video, is that this guy who apparently buys S-workers set up a hidden camera and probably also had on tape, more than likely unbeknownst to her, in very uncompromising positions. Myron then goes on to continue to expose her character for filth.
You guys might be wondering, well, Myron, do you got proof? Oh, I do got proof, actually. I got video. Here she is, taking the dude's money and doing what she's about to do with it. Oh. Hey, man. We have her ID, right? Here she is. But it's to show you guys that we know what we're talking about here. We actually have her, Jin Chen. That's your real name, by the way, Jin Chen. It's not Daisy. You run around calling yourself Daisy Chen, but you're really Jin Chen. And we have the document.
By the way, I think Myron is setting this up like she's changing her name on purpose. Most Chinese nationals that come over to the States change their name. How is it that I know that? Well, when I got my MBA, it was 50% international students and 40% of those were from China. They all changed their name. But let's review the allegations.
To show that you got fired and why you got fired. Again, this is all in Chinese, but guess what? My boy WeRise, once again, aka Chinaman, he went ahead and translated for you guys. The employee seriously derelict in his duties or commits fraud for personal gain, causing major damage to the company.
You stupid.
We have her ID.
Just real quick, too. If we all had friends like Myron, we could all do whatever we want in the goddamn world. We'd always have someone willing to back us up. It's actually kind of endearing watching the amount of loyalty that Myron has to Fresh. Fresh is not even here for this conversation. It ended up being like an hour expose on this chick. I want to say Myron has done that because Fresh should no longer be speaking, because it's clear that he can't be trusted in front of a microphone when told not to speak. But I do think that it's relevant to bring up a shady past in defense of your friend or of your business partner. But it absolutely doesn't remove accountability from being a moron and skeeting in this chick.
And I absolutely agree with MTR on that notion. and that's what I was referring to. However, Myron is good for doing that, because remember the brick lady? Same situation, man, because Queen of Accountability looked at her records and noticed that She had a history of doing what she tried to get away with the whole getting hit in the face brick situation. So there's some validity to that. However, that does not take accountability away from Walter. Let's keep it moving.
By the United States law, he has to pay for the child support. How much money do you think a man should make for? Yeah, I told him $1 million.
Walter apologized for everything and came clean on everything. Wouldn't you want him to be involved in like your child's life?
But why would you care about that?
Wrong answer.
Shouldn't the priority be to like build a healthy life for your future child? Shouldn't
Yes.
that be the focus?
Before him.
You don't care. You're not caring. The child right now is just a money ticket for you. You're not caring at all about the child. Why are you leaking
What is
all
the
this
money?
publicly?
What
The money is the child's
W
money
for
that
Destiny.
you were talking
I
about
agree.
earlier. You're very
Who are
familiar
you?
with
I don't want to talk to you.
Pause.
Destiny's gonna take a break.
She doesn't want to talk to him because it's exposing the truth. You say in one sentence, I don't care about the money. Then you're saying, oh yeah, a man's got to make $1 million a year.
That is to the words the exact same point that I made in my original video that you guys called me a loser for.
I don't care about money. I never said I don't, because on the show I even said they were asking me how much money do you think a man should make for? Yeah, I told them $1 million, and that's my standards. He knows my standards.
Yo, imagine saying in one sentence, money doesn't matter to me. I'm not with him for money. But my requirement for a man is to make $1 million. You're beginning to see the ridiculousness that engulfs this young woman's mind. In this final image here, they're linking the tattoo on her shoulder from her fitness page with the tattoo on her shoulder from that original escort video. And it also looks like here, her face is right here. I didn't see this in the original video. But now that I'm seeing this, mixed with this tattoo, damn sure does look like her.
Fresh. You look, this looks really bad. This looks really bad. You skeeted in a chick who's, from what we can tell, seems to be an escort. And I'd imagine with the kind of money that you make, she probably didn't feel the need to do it anymore while she was with you. Or maybe she was doing it while she was with you. Who knows nowadays? But I find it a bit strange that that's what she does for a living. And you mean to tell me you introduced this woman to your parents, took her to Barbados? Now, I got mixed thoughts about this. It's kind of tough to tell if this is true or not. This is why I waited so many days before I even covered this. Because on one end, all the evidence that they have is pointing to her looking like maybe she was just playing the long game and, trying to hustle him and trap him with a baby. But then there's also evidence that looks like he appeared to be selling a dream, and once she hit him with the "oh, I'm pregnant," then he started acting all brand new. So to be honest with you, it's a little bit sloppy on both sides. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them had ulterior motives, and both of them are just a clusterfuck in a nutshell, like he mentioned earlier. But I would really like to know what y'all think about this. I'm like, if y'all think who's telling the truth and who's not. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because with the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also, look out for the travel vlog channel, Unplugged Traveler. Link is in the description, and I apologize for this video being a little bit long, but this is a pretty serious topic and it's catching a lot of attention, and everybody, it seems like for about a week now, has been asking my opinion on it because they know how much Fresh and Fit have been a part of my success and on YouTube and even behind the scenes as well. So until the next video, you guys, deuces.